For the millions across the globe watching on OSP TV. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Here we are back, OSP TV. Good to have everybody back. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 9, and our first ever virtual guest, the one, the only, Coach Larry Wade. Coach, good to have you on the show today, sir.
What's up, fellas? Hey, listen, I'm honored to be one of the guests. I'm honored to be, I think, the first Zoom guest, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And, I'm going to set the standard. I'm going to have fun out here, and, we're going to do what we do. It's always easy to go home and say, hey, I meet my quota for the day. I'm good. I'm going to go home and rest. But being able to take that next call or go knock on that next door might open an opportunity for that $1 million, if not $1 billion opportunity. All it takes is one more opportunity. Amir knows this firsthand that there have been situations where I wanted to do things and I just kept pushing and knocking on the door. And eventually someone gave me an opportunity.
Yep.
And that's all I was really looking for. And that's all we should all be looking for. It's just that next opportunity to do what we're supposed to do in life.
Well, you talk about it, Larry, right? You talk about it. And there's a lot of people that talk about it. But what's motivating about you and an inspiration to me, you are the example of going out and doing more. So if you don't mind me sharing this with them, Larry, Coach Wade wanted to get into the commentator because he's very well-spoken, very energetic, very well-versed in combat sports, having trained the likes of Caleb Plant, Badu Jack, Sean Porter, Luis Ortiz, and countless other world champions. And he was very versed in boxing. So he said, I want to be a commentator. And I thought, my first initial thought, Larry, was they're not looking for a strength and conditioning coach to commentate. That's not what they want.
He sold you short. You forgot to say very well dressed. Very good fashion sense. I saw you on there showing out.
Yeah, and well, that's because his wife
those
Yvonne.
Skinny jeans that they make fun of.
That's right. You got to get ahead of it before he brings it up. I like your style.
Damn, you took my. Okay, no problem. So in saying that, it was saying I want to be a commentator role. I want to commentate. And I'm thinking, okay, look, what's my angle here? I'm thinking about something big to happen. At the OSP National Conference was a great platform for me to say, here's a guy. Look how well he speaks. I think we can bring him on. But again. And it could be a perception issue for me was I didn't think that it would happen. So Larry kept knocking. He kept knocking on doors until Fox Sports said to him, listen, we're going to give you an opportunity. And he made his commentator debut last week or the week before.
Like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. And a phenomenal job that he did. And of course, like with everything else, I took the credit for it, which was excellent. I had nothing to do with that. That was all him doing more, and it really was, and I was so proud of him.
Thank you. Here's the reality. We all need that support, and that's a large part of what OSP provides. It gives people an opportunity, a network to lean on for guidance in areas where maybe they may not be as versed at. They may not have as much experience at first, but because they have that network and support behind them on those days when it's hard, they can go to their mentor and be like, hey, this is not going my way. And he or she can guide them and say, hey, this is what happened to me. This is what's happened to other people just like you. Just stay strong and keep focusing. With that being said, even though I got the opportunity, the first person I called was Amir. And I was like, hey, I got the opportunity. But like everything else, you get it. And you're like, well, am I really ready? I think I'm ready. And so Amir was the first person to say, no, you're ready for this. You're natural at it. Just do your thing. And then once it was over, the first person I called was Amir again. Because I know if anybody's going to be brutally honest with me and criticize me, it's going to be him. But it's going to be constructive criticism.
By the way, you know what? A lot of people don't know how I came to represent you. So if I can shed some light on that, is I was actually thinking.
Well, before you get started, listen, everyone. He's going to tell you this story.
It's the true story.
I asked him to represent me before he actually started representing me. It took a couple of years.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So when I was getting ready to.
I just want to make sure we get the record straight.
I was getting ready to, late in my career, make a comeback. I said, man, if I'm going to do that, I got to hire the best guy in the business. And mind you, the first time that I met you, I was on the track training with Dewey Cooper. So I was on the track running, and I saw a very, fit, big, muscular guy with a hat on, dark shades, and just the presence. First of all, was you had a presence, and you were out in the track with Sean Porter, and man, this was a Vegas summer. It was in the hundreds, and I saw Sean was out there running with a sweatsuit on. I go, man, this dude is nuts. Like I'm trying to strip as much as I possibly can, but he was out there running, and I was running in lane 1, which is, and anybody knows that's Wade's lane. So I was running in lane 1, and then I'm running. I was there first, and I'm running, and Sean's running up behind me, and Wade yells, "Lane! Lane!" And I'm like, map, this guy. I don't care about no lane. And then Sean gets closer to me, and then Larry's voice gets deeper. Lane! Lane! I'm like, yeah, come get me out of this lane. And then he comes real close to me. He comes real close to me, and I look behind me, and I'm like, oh, it's Sean Porter. Nah, I got to give him the respect. And I moved over to the side. And then, by the way, when I approached you afterwards, you were not very friendly. You were not very friendly at all.
I don't remember that, though.
I know you don't remember that.
You got to understand when
you
I'm
were in training mindset.
Like
no, you were in training mindset. You weren't trying to introduce and meet anybody else. And then I told Dewey, I go, Dewey, who is that dude? He's like, oh, that's Coach Larry Wade. And I had heard of you before, and I said, okay.
Big up to Dewey Cooper, by the way. What's up, Dewey? Great guy.
Dewey's a legend. So that's how I first met you. And then after, Badu was training with you, I got a chance to meet you. And, of course, Caleb, and we got to know each other a little bit better. And Larry kept asking me, he said, I would like you to give me a hand, get this business thing put together. And I kept putting it on. I was like, man, what am I going to do with a strength and conditioning coach? Like, I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what to do with the guy.
That's right.
So he kept pushing, and I kept putting it off. And then one day he goes, listen, let's go to lunch. And I said, sure. Went to lunch, and he goes, listen, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to represent me. I said, okay. He goes, and you're going to draw up a contract, and you're going to bring it to me, and I'm going to sign it. And I said, oh, then let's do it.
That's pretty much how it went.
That is how it went. So then I brought him the contract, and he's got the nerve to read it and start telling me he doesn't want certain things in it. I said, you told me to write the damn contract for you. He goes, yeah, but I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay, I go, man. I
remember that.
I said, okay, no problem.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that drive him. He's motivated in multi-dimensionals. He has a lot of fire behind him, and that's where that intensity comes from. He's been a lot of things in his life have been, taken away from him, and he's made it a point to not only live within that spirit, but to also accept that he's not, as long as he has an opportunity, he's going to prevent anything else from being taken from him, as long as he has control over it. And also, he wants to be able to prove to people how great he really is. And if you know where he came from, then you also know that he don't want to go back there.
Right.
There's no life there for him. So he's doing everything he can to really, etch his name in stone and said, hey, you know what? I want to be great. No, I take that back. X out. I want to be the greatest. Check. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's doing. Right. And I'm in great support of it. And if you go back 3-4, because this year completes my 4th year being with Caleb, going into my 5th. If you go back 3 years ago, in the first year that I was working with Caleb, I said he would be the best in the world. He would be a world champion. And that's where we are. And I'm not just saying that based on him being my athlete at the time. I'm saying that based on his talent level, his commitment to the work, and the heart that he carries when he does everything he does. He puts his heart into everything he does. Every single thing he's passionate about. Even down to buying the tennis shoes that he's going to put on and wear that day. He's put a lot of thought and energy into those shoes and why he has them on today.
I have to ask, I know me and Amir had a conversation about this. What did you take from the press conference?
Oh, it's easy. What you saw was exactly what I expected to see. I've always said Caleb and Badu are different in this space, but Caleb is a man's man. What you saw was Canelo be a little ruffled, Caleb underneath his skin,
totally,
and then he pushed Caleb. Caleb was trying to be the respectful professional at first in regards to not attacking and touching someone physically. But once Canelo pushed him, most people would think that he would just ease back up there and people would come up and break it up. He hit him back to let him know that he's a man and that he's not afraid of him. Let me say that again. Hit him back because he said, first, I'm a man. I'm not afraid of you. What do you want to do?
Totally agree. Yeah. I mean, Canelo came
That's
out.
the difference.
Canelo just came out and said this is personal. So he's definitely gotten under his skin.
Oh, he definitely got under his skin because he's the first one to call Canelo out on the PEDs. He's the first one to really get under his skin and to show him I don't respect him.
It wasn't PEDs. It was Mexican beef.
I mean the hamburgers. What? He had a double hamburger.
Yes. So you saw a situation where a guy showed that, hey, this is what the fight's going to be like. This is the fight. I'm not afraid of you. This is not just talk. Everything that I say, I mean.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of other cases, and I've said this on TV, and I'm probably going to get slammed for it, but I've seen a lot of boxers get in the ring with Canelo, which I believe really didn't think they were going to win.
Right.
They really didn't have any
That's the
intention
difference. No, that's the difference.
on winning.
No, that's the difference.
I think they wanted to survive. I feel like they wanted to get a nice check, and that was the level of commitment.
100%.
Right.
100%.
With Caleb, he goes in with the idea and the concept and the belief and the understanding that I'm winning this fight.
Right.
There's no other option for me. You ever seen a man backed in the corner? When a man backed up in the corner, he has no choice but to fight his way out. Caleb's life has positioned him to have to fight his way out of every situation. So he's not going there with the intent of, look, let me survive 12 rounds. You know what? Let me get through and get a decision. No, he's going in like, I'm getting him out of here. I'm destroying him. He's not going to win this fight. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if that comes with a decision or if that comes with him actually putting Canelo down, but I do know it comes with his hand being raised when it's over.
We got Badu Jack. Badu Jack Promotions just did a nice deal out in the Middle East, and they've got Badu fighting by the end of the year. Of course, you're going to be in camp with Sean Porter, who's fighting Terrence Crawford. That'll be a mega fight. And by the way, this is what a lot of people don't see with you is, these mega fights come up, which means you got to go from camp to camp to camp. And after you finish 3 or 4 guys, the next guy's ready to go. So here we are, month 17 of back-to-back-to-back camps. And just you got to make sure you can take care of yourself, ease off the Coca-Colas. Man, that's what we should do is get a Coca-Cola sponsor, Wade.
Ooh, that would be great.
That's the one. Johnny,
that would be amazing.
Meta tag and show the meta tag hashtag Coca-Cola. Coach Wade. He's even got the Coca-Cola colors on. Isn't that the Coke colors?
Red.
Coach Wade, thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you got to run to that training appointment.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you on episode 9. Coach Larry Wade. As for OSP TV, we're signing off. My team, my family, my OSP, we're signing off.